The Spectrum series from LiteGear is getting a huge update, and we have all the details.
This is a CineD Gear News video, supported by B&H and CVP.
Hey guys, Grant Mailer-Sheldon here from CineD.com. Welcome to NAB 2023. We're still on the show floor here having a blast, and I'm joined by Chad from LiteGear. How's it going, Chad?
Oh man, I'm parched, but I'm pleased to be here. 4 days in the desert. We're all dried out, but we're still having a blast. I wish you guys were here.
Yeah, I mean, look, being in the desert will do that to you. Anyway, so look, I've been a longtime owner of a variety of LiteGear products, especially the Spectrums, but I'm here today to talk about some huge updates to the Spectrum line, and in the form of a 8 Spectrum and some actually ballast changes too. Let's dive into it.
So, I mean, everybody loves the Spectrum. It was Product of the Year at NAB in 2019. We may or may not have won another award this year for what we're doing. We just sort of are refreshing the product line, right? The new heads are in the familiar sizes, the 1, the 2, the 2L, the 3, the 4, all those sizes that we've had before. There's a more robust construction to the head, so they're a little bit more durable. They're a little bit thicker, and with that robust construction, we've been able to kind of go bigger, and that's where we come up with the LiteMat Spectrum 8 for the first time. Everybody's been asking for it. But not just the construction of the head. You know, we've been able to put new electronics into those STDs, those pixel drivers that you've seen on the back of the fixture. Some new electronics in there, and that's allowed us to really improve the low-end dimming. You know, when you're mixing color on 6 diodes and you start to go really low-end, some of the color kind of fell apart, right? And that's not by nature of any problem. It's just sort of the nature of the hardware. The hardware updates have allowed us to get really, really buttery smooth on that low-end dimming.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a classic thing, right? We buy a gigantic, awesome light and then use it at 1%. And, you know, thank you for solving that particular issue that DPs run into. Right. And then, of course, the new light dimmer. Let's talk about that. I mean, it looks a little cooler, I would say.
It's space age design, right? You know, it's really exciting to have these new dimmers. First of all, they are AC DC dimmers, right? So you can plug them into mains power. There's an onboard power supply, no more external power supply that you've got to strap onto your dimmer somehow. The power supply is inside. Mains power through the True One PowerCon connection, or there's a 3-pin XLR and you can run it off of a 48-volt battery. So we've got AC and DC. We've got it in 2 sizes. We've got a 200-watt dimmer, which is suitable for all the Spectrum heads up to the 4, and then we've got a 400-watt dimmer for the 8.
Okay, so it's a little backwards compatible is what you're telling me.
100%. So if you've got an existing head, it's backwards compatible. The new dimmers will control an existing head. The old dimmers will control one of the new heads. You may not get all of those electronic improvements because without the full system, you're not going to get those. You don't have the hardware to do the electronic improvements. But that doesn't mean that the heads you have aren't going to work. They certainly will. And on these new dimmers, you've got RJ45s for ArtNet and streaming ACN. You've got your XLRs for 5-pin DMX. You've got the internal power supply we just described. You get this really cool handle that's got a little notch so that it's perfectly centered when hanging on the knuckle of your C-stand. I mean, all those little improvements you get with the new dimmer. You just may not have those electronic improvements.
Got it. I mean, hopping back to the lamp head just for a second, you know, one of the things I remember, well, it's the stick. Honestly, the stickers are still on my Spectrum.
Sticker is very bold, right?
There's a bunch of stickers that say, "Do not unplug this fixture while it's under load." Is that something that's changed at all with these updates?
Thank goodness we have the new improved electronics, because you can now have no problem with that fear of striking at under load. It's really it's one of the many improvements you get with the new electronics.
Yeah, because I mean, it wasn't something that I would normally do with a fixture anyway, but at the end of like a 13-hour day, I'd be very tired and something might happen. So I'm glad that that is no longer the case. Let's talk price point, but I also want to dive into availability too,
Sure.
Because I think sometimes, I mean, we've all been through this. There's a little bit of lead time, especially, honestly, with some LiteGear purchases I made over the years.
You know, we want to announce this product when we're all together at a show like this. And if the product's not ready, we still want to tell you about it, and we want to get excited about it. We have
building the hype.
That's right. Well, that's part of it. And also it's a community. We are a community and we're all here together. Let's talk about the thing that's coming out, right? We've got our supply chain in line. We've got components in stock. We are going to be building these and we anticipate a ship date of July. Right? Now, this is not one of those trade shows where we say July and it really turns into September, November next year. No, we feel it's really confident in saying July is when we're going to be shipping. We're doing pre-orders now. The Spectrum 8 has a MSRP of around $9,200 for the system. That system is the head, the new dimmer, cabling, accessories like the poly skirt and the diffusions, carrying bag, all of the things that you would expect to come with it in that kit for that $9,200 MSRP.
Got it. And I mean, this is a lot of numbers to have in your head, Chad. If you don't have them exact on, that's okay. But I know there's a lot of other dimensions for the Spectrum. Just ballpark, what's the pricing look like on some of the other ones?
Sure. You know, the Spectrum 4 is going to be in the ballpark of 5,000, and then it goes down from there into the smaller sizes. I would recommend people check LiteGear.com or one of our retailers for really specifics on that.
So now another question for you. How are you differentiating the Spectrum line now? Is this like a V2 Roman numeral thing? Are you still selling the OG versions? How does this break down exactly?
We're selling them by vintage. So it's 2019 or it's 2023 is sort of the designation. If you were to call 5 years from now and say, I'm having problems with my Spectrum head, they're going to start asking you questions about where the labels are or some of the construction, and that'll help determine generation. But it's the Spectrum 2019 or now the Spectrum 2023.
Gotcha. And both are still going to be sold, obviously the 2023 in July?
Certainly for now. You know, I think Apple products have shown us that there is a generational obsolescence and
lifespans.
Yeah, and so we've had these products out for several years now. We're refreshing the line, and I'm sure that there is a product path for discontinuation when it's time to do that.
Now, I think many of you out there might be current Spectrum owners or LiteMat Plus or LiteMat, the sort of original version. I'm a Spectrum owner currently. Is there an upgrade path for us? Anything like that on the horizon?
You know, we don't have any sort of trade-in program or anything like that. What we believe is that the lights you're using are tip of the spear, fantastic products. I ran through the Oscar list with one of my coworkers and we were saying, yep, we were on that film. Yep, we were on that film. Yep, we were on that film. These are great products. They are making great light right now. The products that you have in your inventory are phenomenal lights. Right? We've made some improvements. We've gone from good to great, maybe, but it doesn't mean that the products you have are bad or obsolete or anything like that. We don't have a trade-in program right now. I would say stay tuned. We're always interested in finding ways to take care of our customers. We love our community, and so we're going to make sure it takes care of you guys the way we can.
Well, I appreciate that, Chad. Thank you so much for walking us through some of the Spectrum improvements here at NAB 2023. I really appreciate it.
The specs of the Spectrum, right?
The specs of the Spectrum.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. And if you're not here this year, I hope you can join us next year. And I really appreciate you helping get our messages out to the community.
Amazing. Thank you, Chad. Our pleasure. Okay, that's it for us here at the LiteGear booth at NAB 2023. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.